Hi, welcome back. This is going to be the part 4, if I remember correctly, of kinematics, and I already wrote down one of the problems I'll be working on today. So, a car is traveling at a constant speed of 25 meters per second, miles. You can change it to whatever you'd like. The car begins to accelerate at 2.7 meters per second squared for 7.1 seconds. And the question is, how far does the car travel? What is the final speed of the car? 7.1 seconds later. So again, remember, look back at the equations you know how to work with, questions or the equations you have not worked with, and you can either pause the video now and then you can come back and see, but I'll get into it. So first, again, we're going to write down what we do know. The initial velocity of the car is 25 meters per second. We know, or we're given the acceleration and the time. So acceleration is 2.7 meters per second squared. Time is 7.1 seconds. And they ask us how far does it travel. So we know that is distance. So that's a question mark. And they want to know the final speed of the car 7.7 seconds later, which would be your final velocity. Again, you want to plug in or look for an equation that has all of your variables included. So one would be distance, or what you have included. So we have this equation, distance equals initial velocity times time plus 1/2 times acceleration times time squared. So again, you're plugging all your variables that you would have. The initial velocity is 25 meters per second. The time is 7.1 second plus 1/2 times acceleration, which in this case would be 2.7 meters second squared, and times your time, which would be 7.1. But in this case, for the equation, you would put that to the power of 2, all equal to distance. So if you want to pause the video and stop it on your own, or if you want me to go through it, I would break this up into pieces so then it's easier to break down. So I would handle this first, and this would get you the total of 177.5, and then you want to handle this part, which would be 68.0535, and then you want to handle this last part, which is just 50.44041, depending on the running, which would give you the total distance of 245.5. So again, this is how you find distance, your initial velocity, time 1/2 acceleration, time squared. And just make sure you know what you're looking for. So now to find your final speed at the end of 7.1 seconds, let's move this over here. Let's see. Erase this. It's 245.5. Alright, so now to find your final velocity, we'd be looking at another equation we looked at before, which is one of the easier ones. Your final velocity, here we go. Your final velocity equals your initial velocity plus your acceleration and your time. So again, pretty straightforward. Not pretty straightforward, but just plug in any values you already have or they were given. 25 meters over seconds plus your acceleration, which is 2.7 meters over second squared. And your time is 7.1 seconds. In this case, you would just multiply everything out. Let's see. So you ignore this up again. Go for it, but you should get the total final velocity of 44.17 meters per second. Again, make sure to just cancel out any type of units. So if you wonder where this second squared goes, you have one up top, you have one in the bottom where your acceleration times time. So you cancel out and you're left with one pair of seconds. So it's no longer squared. So it'd be 2.7 meters over seconds and 25 meters over seconds. So you have singles instead of squared, and this would be your final speed, which is 44.17 meters over seconds. So again, don't let the numbers scare you or don't let the questions scare you. Just isolate the values you have and what you're looking for, and that should be it for this section.